Hi, I'm Claire. I am going to demonstrate today a very easy, very simple setting pattern that can be used as a basis for all vintage styles. It's one that can be used as a dry set or a wet set, doesn't matter. And like I said, it's pretty easy, it's pretty simple. So if you want to achieve any of the hairstyles, you know, Marilyn Monroe's type of hair or any of the longer styles, this is a really good start. You can leave it really curly, get a very tight curl using small rollers. You can achieve that with the setting pattern, or you can use bigger rollers for a looser style, or that's easily brushed out for those kind of Dita Von Teese waves. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what are the basics of getting a setting pattern right. It's really important if you're going to curl your hair that you do use a setting pattern. If you don't use a setting pattern and you just stick rollers in your hair, it's not going to come out the way that you expect. It's going to be uneven and you're not going to get the desired curl. So there's a few things you need for setting your hair. You need a rat tail comb like this, very useful little tool. And obviously you need rollers. So if you are going to do a dry set, you'll obviously have heated rollers of some description, which is great. I'm going to do a wet set today. My hair is freshly washed this morning. I've been walking around with it for about an hour and a half, so it's not soaking wet, it's just a bit damp. And I'm going to do a, what's called a wet set. So rollers, you've got lots of options. It's during the day for me, so I don't need to sleep on them. However, if I was doing this at night time, which I do often, I will use rollers that are comfortable to sleep in. So little pillow rollers, foam rollers, sorry, like this. These give a nice tight curl. They come in different sizes. The bigger the roller, the bigger the curl. There are also these fantastic pillow rollers, which are foamy, soft, really comfy to sleep in. They give a bit more of a looser curl, so if you're looking for a really tight curl, this is what you want to be using. So I'm going to use these today. And also you might want some setting lotion. So I use Lotta Body setting lotion, which is great, and I just put it in a little spray bottle and water it down. I might not use too much of that today because my hair's wet already, but if it starts to get a bit dry, I'll just wet it with a bit of that. And you need your mirror, obviously, to see what you're doing. Okay, so start with, when we're doing our setting pattern, we need to section our hair. We need to have our hair put in easy to manage sections. So the first section that we're going to use is this bit at the top. So we want to kind of think of it like, I guess, a bit of a mohawk. So if we're thinking about which section we're using, it's this bit at the top. Yeah? So firstly, we need to get an easy to manage section. Now, important thing to remember, you don't want it too wide along here. You want it to be smaller than your roller. If it's any wider than your roller, it's all going to fall out. So you need to get yourself a nice bit in the front like that. And then, important thing to remember is the angle. So this is the angle we're going to be using. 45 degrees, maybe, I'm terrible at that. Important to maintain that angle because this will help the curler sit on your head. So we're rolling backwards, see? Tuck the ends in as best you can and roll backwards, maintaining that angle. All the way down to there, and then snap that down like that. And the next one. See? Nice and close to the one before. Again, maintaining that angle. Nope. So start about there. Wind this little bit around first to make sure that it's all caught up. And then wind it down. So always work backwards with these ones at the top of your head. Bits on the side. Straight forward, get your comb, your section off about that much. Again, you don't want it to be any wider than your roller. This is getting a little bit dry at the front now. So I'm just going to put a bit of a spray with my setting lotion. Okay. So this time, this is the angle we're using. I'm getting the right way. At that angle. And we want to roll downwards. So again, we tuck the ends in and we roll downwards. Making sure you get all the bits in. And fix it tight to your head. And then working our way down. Doesn't matter too much. Now, show you the back. So, we're going to divide the back into two halves, roughly. And we're going to work our way down. But remember, important thing to remember, these vintage styles, they were characteristically smooth at the top. The curls didn't start till about here. If you look at any photos of vintage hairstyles, most of them smooth all the way at the crown and the curls started down there. So the way that we achieve this is simple. We just start rolling the curls a little bit further down the hair. So starting at the top, we'll start rolling. And we'll stop about there. So the roll doesn't start until, a little bit way down the head. And then we're just going to work our way down from that point, either way. So we'll go down that side and then down that side. So that is the finished product. As you can see, it's a little bit messy at the back, but doesn't really matter. The back isn't the feature, the front's going to be what you see. So I will let this dry and I will show you the finished result. So remember that you need to leave it to dry completely. Really important. There's nothing worse than going to all this effort and then taking it out and finding that some of it isn't dry and it just goes completely straight. It's really hard to come back from that. So you want to make sure that it's completely dry before you take it out. Thanks. Hi, I'm back. So I've left my hair in rollers all day and now this is what I'm left with. So it's pretty crazy. It's a big ball of curls basically. So you could either, if you wanted to go for the 1920s cute kind of curly look, it's really simple. You could leave it as curly as this. Just put some pomade in it for a little bit of shine and control and just pull it to one side, put a couple of clips in. You got a cute kind of 20s style, obviously a little bit more tidy than that, or you can brush it out. So people tend to panic at this point and go, oh my god, look at that frizz, what am I ever going to do? But don't panic, all you need is to brush it out. You just need a little bit of patience and I promise you it does come right. So this gives you an idea of almost the finished product. I would probably do a little bit more brushing out on this bit over here. It's a little bit buffy still, but it's nothing that a good brush out won't fix. I'll show you the back. Now this wave or curl in my hair should last me maybe 3 days if I'm lucky, if I look after it properly. So what I'll do tonight when I go to bed is I'll take this bit at the front and I'll roll it back up around my finger. As a pin curl, and I will clip that to my head with some bobby pins just to make sure that that bit stays nice and curly so that when I wake up in the morning I can get it back to that nice look that just kind of flops over my face. So that is the instructions for a wet set. Like I said, you can leave it really curly when it comes out and just pin it and let it drop naturally. If you do that, then your curl will probably stay in a little bit longer, and by the time the second day comes around you should be looking like this a bit naturally. Or you can do as I've just done and brush out that wet set so that you get a nice wave rather than a really curly curl. So I'm going to do a whole series of these videos and show you what you can do once you've got your hair curly. So we'll go through victory rolls and a whole heap more hairstyles. Yeah, so keep watching. Thanks.